Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast, the show where business owners, entrepreneurs, and professionals share their stories, lessons learned, and powerful strategies for building relationships and growing their circle of influence. With Melissa Taylor, your host, each week we'll bring you actionable insights to help you build a better network and a better business. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Network Build Grow podcast. We are excited to be here today with Nick Reynolds. He is an insurance agent with Comparion. Welcome, Nick.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about your journey into the insurance world and what you guys do, how you're different, and all that wonderful stuff.
Yeah, so my journey into insurance was a little bit of a different one.
Okay.
So had started out, I've been in sales my entire professional career. I started out in transportation and logistics for the first 6 years of my professional career. For the first 5 or so years, loved it. It was a great career. Got to a point where I didn't see any sort of upward movement or growth or anything like that with that career. And then moved to a different company where let's just say the work-life balance wasn't as good. And I decided I wanted something that was going to be a little bit more stable long-term. And it was actually my future father-in-law. It was like, hey, I think you should try and be an insurance agent. And I've really enjoyed it since
Great.
moving over to this side. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know there's lots of different kinds of insurance. What is your specialty?
Yeah, so we do personal lines insurance. So that's what you would think of like your personal auto, home. We can do landlord policies up to 4 units. We do life insurance. We do toys like boats, all that kind of stuff. And then sometime soon, we'll be able to do small commercial auto. Think of like, someone who's got a small business that's got like a couple of vans and stuff like that. We'll be able to write that. And then hopefully soon some like HOA commercial type policies, that kind of sort of stuff. So
Okay, wonderful. I love that. I love all the different kinds of property, personal property insurance companies that we
yeah.
have out there. Now you're with Comparion, which I'll be
Yes.
honest with you, until I met you, I'd never heard of that. So tell me a little bit about that.
So if you haven't heard of it, you're probably not alone in that. So we started in 2022. So we're a relatively new venture. So we are a company that's owned by Liberty Mutual, but we operate as like an independent agency, or some people will call it like a brokerage. But again, owned by Liberty. We shop through a bunch of other carriers other than Liberty. Liberty Mutual has gone all direct, which means the way to get a policy through them is online or through their call center. They just decided that that's kind of the way they wanted to go, and they had all of these agents. When I started, I was just a Liberty Mutual agent. And now we have a bunch of different products and carriers and all that kind of stuff that we can offer the people that want our services. So it's really good.
That's great because then you can kind of find exactly what they need and the price point they need and the coverage that they need.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. It's like a big puzzle you're putting together. So that's one of my favorite things about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So networking, let's kind of talk on that side of your business. Is that primarily the way that you grow your particular book of business, or do you do other types of marketing and so forth?
Yeah. So networking has been probably the biggest way that I meet referral partners. So every once in a while, you meet someone at a networking event that, I don't like my current provider. I'd like to look at rates with you and all that kind of stuff, but that doesn't happen a lot. Mostly it's a good way for me to meet, realtors, mortgage brokers, people like that who, can get me in front of people looking to purchase insurance. So that's been one of the biggest things for me, is that I think joining a networking group like that, you're already part of something with those people. In insurance, there's a lot of people that, they go into like offices, and they bring donuts and they bring coffee and all that kind of stuff. And, you're kind of coming in from the outside into their domain, where networking, you're coming in on equal footing. And I've always kind of liked that. And, you know, I don't really try to even bring up what I do to like start the conversation. It's kind of just like learning about them and all that kind of stuff. And then if they want to do business with me and send business to me, then great. But I want to like them first, and I want them to like me first.
Yeah. So
So
it's about relationship building for you first and
100%.
foremost.
You want to
Yeah,
do business with people that you like. Yeah.
absolutely. It's people that you respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And how long have you been in the insurance business? How long?
Coming up on 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in your 4 years of that, how much has your network grown through your efforts?
A lot. I'm a member of a bunch of different networking groups around Charlotte,
Mhm.
and that's one of the things that I like about networking, is that you just feel so tied into the networking community. In Charlotte, I feel like we have, kind of a networking group for everybody,
Mhm.
and so being tied into a bunch of different groups, they all have their own personality, and you meet different people, and people are looking for different things, and you learn things from different people and different leaders of those different groups. So I think that, not only is it growing in terms of just the number of connections that you have and contacts and people that can put you in front of, others that can help your business grow, but it's also growing, what and your ideas and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Mhm. You mentioned something that I think is really key that we haven't talked about yet on the podcast. So let's dive into this.
Of
The
course.
leaders. There are leaders at all of
Yes.
these groups, and the leaders pretty much know most of their members or the people that
Hmm.
come regularly. So do you try, I know you have with Network Build Grow, you've joined our leadership team.
Hmm.
And how important is it, do you think, to get to know the leaders so that they know who you are, because they do know so many people?
Yeah, I think it's important to meet with the leaders, not only for them to get to know you, but for you to get to know them
Mhm.
and kind of figure out, kind of their philosophy on networking and if it's going to be a good fit for you. Because if you're going to be someone that, tries out a lot of different networking groups, you do need to find out, like, hey, is this one that I want to be a part of? And does this align with what I kind of agree with and kind of what I want out of networking?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. So when you go to networking events, because networking is a lifestyle, right? It's not an event or a group. It's really how you conduct your life, really
yeah.
building relationships. But when you do engage with people that you have met before, maybe once or twice, or not met at all, what's kind of your go-to steps that you do to try to get to know those people?
I just kind of make it really conversational in terms of the first couple interactions. It's more about, learning about their family, learning about, what sports teams they like, or, what they like to do around Charlotte. Like sometimes you even end up talking about like restaurants and stuff like that. And then, it's, oh, what do you do? That kind of sort of stuff. And then obviously there's follow up if they're, someone that could potentially be, where you guys could kind of work referrals off of each other.
Mhm.
I have Excel spreadsheets and email templates and all that kind of stuff that I've set up to, just remember to connect with people, because we get really busy doing our jobs and everything like that. But it's really important to, continue to connect and have one-on-ones or small group interactions with people and all that kind of stuff. So just making sure that you're consistent in your follow-up, but also, make it informal, I guess, because you want to have good, not just good working relationships, but you want to do business with people that you consider friends. So
Right.
yeah.
Especially in your business. I mean, you're
Yeah.
you're doing you're ensuring their lives, right? And so you
Yeah.
want to make sure that you have a good grasp on that. So when you talk about your spreadsheets and those types of things, how detailed are your notes? How detailed do you put in, like all the things you learned about them, and or just the bare bones basics?
So typically, in in my notes, I'll have like contact information, like their address, all that kind of, or their office address or whatever. And then I'll have a note section on the side where I put specific like details that I learned from the first interaction. Then I'll update it periodically, or like where I met them and all that kind of stuff, and how that, the last conversation that I had with them went, and then also any sort of updates that have gone on in their life.
So you're pretty detailed. Like you put the restaurants you talked about or the sports teams that they like, or you're
Yeah.
pretty detailed with your notes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, written kind of shorthand, I guess, but it's where I can follow it and remember. And a lot of times, you write enough, it kind of jars your memory about like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to remember as much as I can about each person that I interact with. And then, you can't remember everything. So having those like little bit of notes to be like, oh yeah, we did talk about that. And we
Mm-hmm.
kind of connected on, the Panthers winning yesterday or whatever, finally, that kind of sort of thing.
Finally.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So what I do is, I leave a networking event and I sit in my car for like 5 minutes and I write down as many details as I can remember about the maybe handful of people I want to connect with. Do you find that it's helpful to do kind of the same thing like the day of, or did you're younger than me. Maybe your memory's a little better to do it the next day or the following day.
I think that's a really good idea. I do it the following day.
Mhm.
I think doing it in the car would be a good thing. I've heard people say that when they get someone's business card, they write some sort of
Mhm.
notes on the back of their business card, which I don't do, but I think that's a really good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said, typically what I do is if it's like an after hours, like a 5 o'clock event, something like that, like first thing in the morning, I get into my Excel sheet and then start the notes or something like that. Or if it's a coffee, I'll do same day.
Mhm.
But usually like that afternoon or whenever I get some slow time or something like that, I'll put the notes in there, and then I'll also set some sort of reminder on my calendar to follow up, to reach out to and be like, hey, I enjoyed our conversation, and that kind of sort of thing. So yeah.
Yeah. So now when you first started networking, tell me about those first couple of events you went to. Give me an idea of what that felt like and maybe what you felt like you did right, wrong, indifferent.
I feel like, the first couple networking events, I do remember being nervous, obviously, because I had never done, coming from, sort of a corporate background before. It was, you didn't really have to do anything like that. It was, your job was kind of put in front of you, and there you go. It wasn't, having to go out in the community and meet people and talk to people and kind of bring that, the business in. But I think that it took a little while. You have to kind of be patient with it for people to get to know you and remember you for what you do.
Mhm.
So like I said, I think that, I don't know. I think that just maybe looking back on it, I would have been a little bit more patient with it.
Mhm.
I mean, I never really gave up, but I did find myself getting like sort of discouraged, I guess, in
Mm.
the beginning, because it's like, oh, I haven't really got anything from this, but you keep being persistent and persistent with it. And then you become known as, oh, that's Nick, the insurance guy. And then you get introduced to someone else because they've seen you a couple times. It's not,
Yeah.
the first time you show up there, you're going to get, people wanting to give you every piece of business that you want. It's something where, again, you have to build that trust. So
Yeah. So with that, you said you go to a lot of groups.
mhm.
So that's really good. But I would assume that you probably go to a lot of groups multiple times
Yeah,
because you can't, from the first time, like you said, get good connections. Plus, you don't know
yeah,
if it's a good group for you. But
exactly. Yeah.
so there's probably not like a formula, but how long do you give a group like to figure out is it a good fit for you? Is it a couple of months? Is it a year? Like how long do you kind of stick with a group to figure things out? Let's assume it's not like a total fail, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't agree with their philosophy or something like that. Like obviously you're not going to go back, but in general, what do you do?
I think it kind of depends. I think that there are certain situations where, a networking group kind of has its heart in the right place. And with those, it's like, this feels like it has the right kind of members that I want. So I'm going to stick around like a little bit over like a period of like months or, half a year or something like that. You can kind of figure out. And if nothing kind of comes of it, be like, oh, maybe I need to kind of look at this. Like, is this still worth it to me? But there's some where you just kind of get the vibe off the bat where you're like, hey, this is, I don't think this is for me. I don't really align. I think that it's not really worth it to me to be here just because of just the way they sort of operate and stuff like that. But I think for networking groups, you can tell, or, it's the right kind of people. It's like, hey, these are the people I want to work with. I'm going to give this a little bit more time. So,
yeah. How many are you involved in pretty regularly? Like, how many groups do you attend?
Pretty regularly, like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Probably pretty regularly, depending on, how loosely networking group. I'm in some like golf ones and stuff like that where we just get together and play golf. It's not like, oh, we have events. It's, that kind of sort of thing. So,
but that's networking. Like, people don't realize that those are really great networking opportunities, just those social things.
Yeah. And you get to know a lot about someone from sitting in a golf cart with them for 4 hours. So, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you do. Okay. If you network for your business, you already know follow-up is everything when it comes to growing relationships and driving success. But here's the thing. Most of us want to follow up well. We just get stuck. Staying consistent, keeping it personal, making it stand out, it's hard. That's why I use NetEffect.io. It makes follow-up simple, cuts through all the noise, and helps me stay on top of every relationship without dropping the ball. I never miss a follow-up, and honestly, my network wouldn't be the same without it. So check it out, neteffect.io. And right now, you can use promo code NBG50 for 50% off of your first month. neteffect.io, your secret weapon to unforgettable follow-up. So let's do a little bit of rapid fire questions about networking, even though we've talked about it quite a bit. But what is one common mistake that you think beginner networkers make?
I think going in for like the quote unquote sale too early. And I think that not only the person that you're talking to realizes like, hey, this person is only in it for themselves, but other people will hear, like, just overhear your conversation. And if you come on too strong, if you're like, hey, I'm here so that, XYZ person can send me business, and not it being a reciprocal thing, then I think that everyone's going to pick up on it. It's going to turn everyone off that's in the networking group. So I think you really have to make sure that it's a mutual benefit to those in the group. So
yeah. Like you said, just build the relationship first.
100%. Yeah.
Really important. Okay. What do you do? Like, you're pretty, I don't know if outgoing is the right word, but I've known you for a while, and you'll talk to a lot of people. You'll talk, and you don't really have that issue. But what do you do if you see somebody at a networking event that seems to kind of be like on their phone, sitting down, standing next to the wall, not really talking to anybody? Do you what's your advice for people to help that person get involved?
So I always try, if I see someone that's kind of a wallflower or whatever, however you want to describe them, I've always tried to like bring them into the circle. So I'll go over, I'll have a little bit of a conversation with them, just to kind of see, just to kind of ease them into everything. Then I'll be like, well, come over here. There's usually circles that are involved in networking, and just to try and ease them into the circle. And it's a lot easier to like join a conversation that way than to just walk up into a circle. It's a lot easier to be introduced into a circle. So I think that that's a really good thing. And again, I think you look back on when you first started networking and you're like, man, I wish someone would have done that for me. And you remember what it's like. And I think it's really easy to do that when you see someone that, again, has their heart in the right place and is wanting to do the right thing to introduce something like that. Yeah,
just extend that kindness to them. So, okay, you brought up circles. So one of the questions we get quite a bit is, how do I break into a circle? right? Like if there's like a circle and people are talking and you want to go meet those people, what's a comfortable way to kind of insert yourself into the circle to join in the conversation?
Um, Try and observe. I mean, this is kind of one thing that I've always done is that, if someone has like a certain drink in their hand, you'd be like, oh, what is that? And you can kind of, then they start talking about that. Or, if someone has like a certain shirt on or something like that, like um, a lot of times like networking groups will have like certain themes or something like that. And if it's sports themed, you can be like, oh, you like the Chargers or whatever, and you can ask them about that, or anything. Just kind of notice certain things about them, and then ask them about it. Is just kind of a way to get in the circle.
Yeah.
But really, just I mean, I think it is intimidating to walk into a circle, but I do think most people, if you literally just walked in and said like, "Hey," I think most groups will welcome you in, honestly. So
Yeah. And it's kind of I guess, I don't know if culture is the right word, but that's, you want to know, like, is this group as a whole inviting and opening
yeah,
and open or not? And so if they're closed to circles and it's hard to break into them, maybe it's not the right group for you, kind of a thing.
exactly. Yeah, if they're closed off and not welcoming anyway, again, to your point, that might not be the right group for you too.
Yeah, might not be the right group.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of insurance people that go out networking.
Mhm.
How do you not step on toes, but still get out what you do in kind of a different way so that people know, you know, who you are and what you do without like stepping on all the other insurance agents' toes in the room?
So I would say that a lot of the times we all do something a little bit different.
Hmm.
Like we all have a certain, like in insurance, we all have like a certain target market. I work with a lot of commercial insurance guys.
Hmm.
So, it's a lot of times I can send referrals to them and they can send referrals to me. So I think it's almost not necessarily stepping on toes. I think
Hmm.
it's, not to be sort of intimidated by the fact that, oh, there's another insurance agent here. I need to like stay away from them and stuff like that. Sometimes it's nice to be like, oh, hey, I'm in insurance too, and maybe we do the same thing, but there's kind of enough people in here to, kind of, we can both kind of share in this group and be okay. And
Yeah.
sometimes, a certain person could be a great, referral or like a great potential customer for me and not for another insurance agent. And the same thing could be a great, potential customer for them, and maybe not for me. So it
Mhm.
all kind of, there's different, sort of target customers for everyone. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
there's enough business to go around.
yeah,
I mean, that's that
exactly,
mindset of abundance. There's no shortage of people that need insurance in this world.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. So I just want to ask you one last thing and then we'll kind of wrap it up for the day. Do you see networking as a part of your future, the rest of your career? Or is it something that you only do when you get started?
No, I think it's something that I'll continue for the rest of my career. I've not only, again, I think it's great as, more people come to Charlotte. Charlotte is one of those cities where there's a constant influx of people moving here. And so you're getting to meet new people, not only from just like, oh, this could be a potential friend, but also like a potential referral partner that are constantly coming here. So I think it's something that you have to be out there constantly. But also, I love feeling part of the community in that way because I got to meet the mayor through a networking group, and that's really cool. Like I never would have thought that I've ever gotten to meet like the mayor of Charlotte, and that's such a cool thing.
Yeah.
And I have networking to thank for that. So it's, I, like I said, I think it's great for my business, but I really enjoy going out and meeting with people and learning about them and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we enjoy having you in Network Build Grow and now on the leadership team. You're kind of being voluntold to do a few things, but
Yeah.
it's going to be fun going forward. So we're excited to have you a part of the family.
Well, of course. Yeah. And I'm excited about all the new YP stuff and the happy hour stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, the young professionals are going to be great
Mm.
because you've been there, you've done that, and you can kind of pour some maybe even networking wisdom into some of these
Mhm.
young professionals coming in.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being with us today.
Of course. Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Network Build Grow podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow entrepreneur or professional. And of course, if you're not yet part of our community, visit networkbuildgrow.com to connect with us. Until next time, keep building and keep growing.